welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia.
Yes, indeed. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jamal Kamara, live from the city of Manchester. Tonight, we're going to be discussing issues around the world and also Liberia. Tonight, we are with us in the full studio. They'll be introducing ourselves. Once again, welcome. This is today, June the 3rd, 2025. It's Tuesday on the Bottom Line Liberia. Now, I will go around and talk to my colleagues or introduce yourself. Guys, welcome.
Thank you, Jamal.
Good to be back, Jamal.
Good.
Thank you very much, Kamara, for being part of this show here.
Yes, thank you. There's a possibility our colleague Linford Egon Guer from the Kingdom of Norway will be joining us soon. So, but in the meantime, we'll let the ball roll. So first, let's give you a guy on the menu tonight before we go to our musical break and our commercial. We'll be taking you through the on the international scene, what's happening around the world today. We'll be telling you and what's happening in Liberia, what Liberia has done. Liberia make a big impact today on the international scene. Two areas. We on the maritime affairs, also on the United Nations seat. We have a permanent seat on non-permanent seat on the United Nations. We'll tell you more about that tonight. So in that case, we'll take a break and I'll come back and tell you more what we have on our main side. Paul, take us through this.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace, Hems vocal, Liberia number one vocal, Liberia number one, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hems Vodka, Hems Honey, Hems Bitter, and Hems Original Vodka. Hems Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drink Mama happy. Hems Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hems Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000 We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hems Vodka or www.hensvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hems North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hems Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hems Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my core, in my blood, every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it, we are stand. Hems Vodka, that number one, oh, from Liberia all around, in supermarket store and everywhere, Hems Vodka, that number one, oh.
You muted, Jamal, can't hear you. While Jamal is muted.
I'm okay, yeah? Yeah, you hear me? Yeah, I was just looking at the commercial. Once again, want to say welcome. Oh man, Linford, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Yeah, I've been struggling with my internet so much, man. It's been very windy all yesterday and today. So it's on and off like this, blinking. I'll try if it gives other.
We'll be patient with you. Do your best and keep your life. That's all we want to do. So just no, you'll be telling more about what we're doing on the international thing. Liberia make score a big point today at the United Nations. We'll be talking much about that. But before we go to that, we're going to look into what is happening around the world on the international scene. Though our main man who take care of business on that end is Paul the Lord. Paul, tell us what we get on the international desk.
Well, first of all, I want to say good evening to all of you, and also want to say good evening from my end to our audience. It's good to be back here on the Bottomland discussion. I mean, internationally, is we actually focus tonight on the war in Ukraine. What is going on? What's happening? And the Ukraine surprised everyone on Sunday. On June 1st, the surprise was they came up with a thing called the operational spider web that they use drone to actually go for 40 of Russian air bombers. They said, so the Western media have been carrying this story. There have been a kind of jubilation within the Western media that Ukraine have done one like the war has already ended. But then today, which is the 3rd of June, what happened today is something that another Ukrainian score a big goal again by bumping the bridge in Crimea. So there's something we'll look at. But then in the whole thing is the Russians have been quiet on this. So we'll just got a few little clips here to play. And there was a meeting here in peace talk here in Istanbul. The Russian delegate and the Ukrainian delegate, they agreed to exchange prisoners and also dead prisoners. So we'll look at it. But the conversation tonight, Ukraine have now scored on Russia. That is the big news in the West. Ukraine have now hit Russia hard. And this is the first time that a country since World War II to hit Russia. So Russia have the thing about nuclear weapon doctrine. If they hit them, they will act. So will Russia act? That is the question. So we'll take our audience to and want our audience to also chime in. What have happened on the 1st of June? Russia is still quiet. Will they surprise or the West will surprise? Let go through it one by one, and then we take it from there. So first we'll start with
Zelensky was at a summit in Lithuania. He once again called for a ceasefire.
We must do everything to make sure diplomacy is not empty. Our delegation is now in Istanbul, and we are ready to take the necessary steps for peace. Naturally, the starting point should be a ceasefire and humanitarian actions, the release of prisoners and the return of abducted children.
Now, just to recap, Zelensky took out 40 Russian planes on Sunday, and on Monday he expects a ceasefire. Is this delusional or strategic? There is no doubt that yesterday's operation was a huge military success for Kiev. It probably will go down in the history books, but so was last year's invasion of Kursk. Zelensky decided to occupy parts of Russia's Kursk province. The idea was to build pressure on Moscow, to force Putin to agree to a deal. But almost 1 year later, Russia has retaken all of Kursk, meaning Zelensky has lost his leverage there. So full marks for out-of-the-box thinking, also full marks for planning. But does it change the balance of power? I'm afraid it doesn't. Russia still controls 20% of Ukraine. It still holds the edge on the battlefield. It still has more weaponry than Kiev. And it also has a lot of patience.
So that's the first one. So Kiev attack, and then there was a peace talk the next day. And Zelensky was also on, he flew out of Kiev talking that they want ceasefire. So we all heard that little clip. From your own understanding, gentlemen, you attack and you call for ceasefire. Now, I won't bring the other clip so we can put all into one and talk about it. The other one here is with Putin react to what have happened. Let's listen to this one here from Korean News from. Let's listen to this, then we can talk about it.
attack deep inside Russia on Sunday raises big questions. How will Russia respond, and what trajectory will the war take from here? After the biggest challenge to Russia's nuclear deterrence, President Putin has spoken of so-called super weapons, referring to a new class of unused advanced military systems. Will they be brought in? Well, the world is watching.
June 1. Ukrainian drones strike strategic bombers at 5 Russian air bases. Over 40 planes, claim to be 34% of Russia's bombers, destroyed, some capable of even carrying cruise missiles. Look beyond the battlefield to the repercussions, the impact, and wounded pride. All eyes are now on the potential blowback from the challenge to the Russian ego. Here are the 6 Russian super weapons that remain unused in the current war, but could redefine its course if deployed. Avangard is the hypersonic glide vehicle. The Burevestnik is a nuclear-powered cruise missile. The Zircon is a scramjet-powered hypersonic anti-ship missile. The Kinzhal is a hypersonic air-launched ballistic missile. The Poseidon is a nuclear-capable unmanned underwater drone. And the Sarmat super heavy MIRV equipped intercontinental ballistic missile. Reports even suggest Russia might consider using its new hypersonic ballistic missile, the Oreshnik. The Oreshnik has been used in significant escalations in the past, like the attack on Dnipro. Expect the backlash to take dimensions outside the battlefield too, intense and a strong message to boot. In the form of a stepped-up cyber and information war, diplomatic channels may be leveraged to warn Western nations against supplying advanced weaponry to Ukraine. And there's the nuclear question. Actual use remains unlikely, but rhetoric will certainly be ramped up to signal the seriousness of its red lines. There's little doubt that NATO nations are bracing for Moscow's next move. The last few weeks have shown that talks held have been no deterrent to a military onslaught. More missiles and more messaging are likely round the corner. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Okay. So you have seen it all, and this operational starter web that took place, it said it, according to the Ukrainian, it been planned for 18 months. But we all know that NATO have been supporting them. So for you to have satellite image to locate the 5 places that were attacked by using those drones that you can get from Walmart or anywhere, this is where the question is, will Russia respond? And then after that, we can then look at the peace talk that took place in Istanbul. So, gentlemen, this is where we are. What say you? I will start from Padole, Linford, Francie, and then we'll end with Jamal.
Right. Thank you very much for, you see, what happened, we are making supposed to see the reality of this particular this particular war between Ukraine and
everybody, please mute. What? It's okay. Yeah, go on, Padole.
Yeah, as I say we all know very well that the war between Ukraine and Russia is not just for Ukraine. It's about western regions of Europe that's in massive support of what they want to do to degrade Eastern Europe, which is the headed by Russia. And Ukraine been working with Russia for time to time, and they know one another. They know some in the areas where that's the reason why the Westerners want to have full control over Ukraine in order to bring down Russia. That's how I see it to be, because the Ukraine don't have the capacities to do this thing there if he didn't get or helping him in the Western world. For the peace talk in Istanbul.
We'll come to the peace talk. We'll come to the peace talk. We got something. That peace talk is what we end on. So we'll come to it. But don't hold your thought. Let's hear from Linford. We'll come to the peace talk because the demand is fascinating, and that's why I want us to talk about more that peace talk they have. Linford, what say you?
Well, I don't know. Am I clear?
Very clear.
Oh, okay. You know, I sit and think and listen that Ukraine can launch that kind of surgical operations and hit target without any mistake. Very precise target. That echoes something that we've been talking about, where the coalition of the willing said they were going to send weapons and intelligence and everything to Ukraine. And so I think this is a moment that Putin may have been waiting for. But it only leaves me with we that are living on the other side of Europe, where NATO allies are. What action will Ukraine take, Russia take? Because I don't think, in this whole war, I don't think Ukraine is the biggest threat to Russia. I'm not too sure if Ukraine is. Because Russia can deal with them decisively in a matter of few days if they really want to. Okay? And nobody can deny that. I hear people want to make Ukraine equivalent to Russia. No. Ukraine is a match to America, France, and those big countries. Not little Ukraine. I mean, Russia is a threat to the countries in America. That's why they're doing everything possible. Not little Ukraine, but they are only using Ukraine as a bait. And this is what NATO is doing. Instead of NATO rushing straight to Russia, no. They want to use Ukraine to provoke Russia. Again, you're your small brother walking, and you meet a guy that you wanted to fight all the time. So you send the picking say, instead of attacking the gas street, you send the picking say, go before we in. By the time I may test your picking is there, at least you get a chance to say, okay, I can retaliate. That's what they've been doing. But the question is, will Putin really retaliate, and at what level? Or will he carry out surgical operation like Ukraine did? Or is he going to go out with an all attack, to revenge and to say, okay, I think they do too much now. Let's just put it to rest once and for all. So I think it's a lot of questions to ponder on. Now, nobody has any precise answer as yet, but let's wait and see in the next few days, probably the next few hours, and hear what will happen. Because I know back in the Kremlin, there will be pressure on Putin to do so. Okay. It was like I was off, eh?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
So all the time I told you, didn't hear it?
We heard something.
No, you're talking about the reaction from Putin. That's all.
Yeah. So I was just saying we don't know what will happen. Probably in the next few hours we might hear something, or whether he's going to decide and say, no, I think they think too much now. Let's put the whole thing to rest one time and let me just deal with them. Or you will say, let me carry out the same kind of surgical operation into their own territory too. We don't know. So there are many questions to answer. So, and remember what I told you the last time. This thing might escalate because if the promises made by the coalition of the willing is coming to fruition, Russia will say, but I can't sit down and these people will be doing this thing. They will react. And when they react, the allies will come too. And then the allies from this side too will go. So it then blow up to something bigger. That's what I said the last time. And people may be taking it for fun. They may not be seeing the danger involved, but it's very dangerous. We're dealing with something very, very dangerous.
So That's true, friends. And Bataki will be joining us on this because he want to have an input on this topic. And also, I think I want for friends to answer me on this one. Donald Trump, the last time when Moscow took decided decision and they bombed Kiev, a child got killed and few people got wounded. And then what happened? Donald Trump, I don't know, Putin is now going crazy. But Donald Trump gone quiet on this one. And when Zelensky said he contacted Washington, they were the first, they denied and said no, they didn't know anything about it. They gone quiet. This guy who can run his mouth have not said anything. So therefore, there was agreement in 2010 between the two heavyweights of nuclear power that is signed agreement. And the agreement is you can display your fleet so your friend can see it. They have access, America and Russia. So for Ukraine to have the map of all of those things and the when we know this is MFR, CIA, Ukrainian intelligence operation. The American like in a classroom when one of them fought, when somebody spent it, it's not me. It's the one who always. So when they think him of Washington, what the first say, we're not aware of this attack. Like they were not told. So friends say, what say you? But give me bring it on. This is welcome, Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Look, that's how geopolitics play around the world. People tend to play double standards around issues regarding war, sanctions, and specifically when you are perceived or you are a real-time enemy of of a particular country or a particular group of people. America and the countries like Germany, according to news outlets, have already have supplied Ukraine with some heavy artillery. Russia knows that as well, but the fact remains that Russia as a country has more weaponry, have more arsenal, more sophisticated arsenal as compared to Ukraine. So Putin warned them, but hope that his warning would just be mere words, so it should not escalate. So yeah, this geopolitics, my friend. It's all about interests. Every country has the or want to protect its interests and weaken, their rival. So that's it. Any more than that, it's clear. And this war not going to end. And Russia will not go attack any European country besides Ukraine. They will do all the attacking in Ukraine. They will not dare attack any other European country. I mean, like Germany, like France, and England are supporting, supplying and supporting Ukraine with those weapons and these satellite images.
Right. Welcome, Bateki. It's good to be here. I know you followed the discussion. We're talking about the operational. They were precise in their operation. They, according to them, they were able to knock off 40 planes. They call it the bombers, and one of the best, the Russian. What say you? This is the topic before we get to the next one. Talk about the peace talk. It just so before we get to our Liberian news.
Yes, thank you for inviting me, Linform. It's
Thomas?
my pleasure to be. Yeah, can you hear me?
Just loud and clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's my pleasure to be on the Borderline Show the first time, and I am well pleased to share my knowledge with the Liberian folks and the folks that are going to be listening. Now, the propaganda that has been spread out there that Ukraine has destroyed 41 strategic air bomber of the Russian fleet. Let's say one, let's say half of, let's say about 30%. That is not true. That is BBC West propaganda. To my concern, with all the rest of the other, let's say, um, independent journalists out there, the amount of plane that was destroyed, approximately between the 1 to 12, let's say from 7 to 12 air bomber that was destroyed. That was the amount actually that was displayed on most of our independent journalist websites and news that they have been given. Inside source in Russia has already given these amount of plane that was destroyed. Now the Tu-20, these are all the Tu-95. This is really old strategic bomber, and it has been long time planning for Russia to actually, let's say, replace this plane with the Tu-160. That's a new air bomber for Russia. Now let's go to the planning of Ukraine. Was this a strategic win for Ukraine? Yes. Is a strategic defeat for Russia? No. And whatever they do, uh, whatever civilian or any kind of nuclear trial that they attack, this will not change the course of the war. The war will stay be going on. Now, here is the thing I want to bring to our conclusion today. There was signed by Obama in 2010. It's called the New Agreement Treaty. That was a treaty between the Russian Federation and the United States. That gave the ability to put these bombers on an open, exposed satellite that they might not be caught by surprise.
Mhm.
So this was not the weakness of Russia to get these bomber, let's say, in the open air, because this agreement was to expire in 2026. Since the agreement was signed by Obama and former president of Russia in 2010, the agreement was supposed to end in 2026. Now, did the question is, did NATO participate in this, or America participate in this? Now, remember, this mission was carried out by many of the Ukrainian SBU, the Secret Intelligence for Ukraine. Now, these guys are been trained by the United States CIA. So, the type of people that would go into those secret mission group. So, the coincidence between the NATO and this operation, in last year, the review of British their defense strategy. In that defense strategy, in the middle of it, they have this operation called Kill Web. You understand? That's a strategic. That's a strategic mission for large deployment of strategic drone warfare. Now, the Ukrainian one is called the Spider Web. Is it a coincidence? I do not know. But it seems that the Britain have their hand into this. The American have their hand into this as well. I will tell that plain blank. You understand? Now, the fact that Donald Trump says that he knew nothing of this, that's a blunder lie, because Pete Hexel was watching this live on Sunday, live on his phone, while the attack was being carried on. He was watching this as lively. So what do they say that Ukraine was the only participant into this. That's a lie. We don't know yet, but I think this is a lie because Ukraine do not have the intelligence to carry out this mission. First of all, the data, the GPS system that they use, everything, the coordination, the position pointing, all was coordinated by the West. Now, there's something they call the GPS jamming. When you enter in German from Ukraine to Russia, you deal with a different GPS jamming because you have the GPS, which is the West coordinate that is owned by the United States, but you have also the GPS systems for Russia. You have different ones, but these are different warfare where they jam these GPS. But the fact that this drone was being deployed into Russia, deep into Russia, coordinated by Starlight as well, uses some of the Russian network to carry out this attack. That's a great defeat. Actually, I would say that's a great defeat for NATO. And you see, once someone is getting weak and you don't know where to punch anymore, you will punch and then you go hard. Last night we learned that Zelensky and many of his officials has fled the country based on that he is afraid of the retaliation. So it's just like when somebody punches, you're weak and then you run away.
Thank you for that facts that you just provided, because we know, I said it here, those two countries signed an agreement was 2010, and they have to display their those things that carry a nuclear head. So only America have it. Great Britain don't have that. It's the American that provided that information to the Ukrainian. So that is their hand is there. But let's move forward before Francis take us home to this labyrinth thing. There was a peace talk in Istanbul the day after the operational spider web. That's the day Zelensky he gave the order. The thing is like the guy is a comedian, so it's almost like a Hollywood drama. We hate you, we take the airwave, everybody dance that, yeah, Ukraine need more weapons because we can hit the Russian hard. So they hit, then they said this will be the time that Russia will come to the peace table to give up because Ukraine had damaged their air force. So at that peace talk, the Russian put forward their proposal, the things that they want before the war can end. And I want us to listen to it. The reason why the war will not end until Russia decide when the war ends. Let's listen to this, and I want your view on this.
Officially released its memorandum and made it public, and of course we have to go through a few details, very important ones. And the first and foremost is of course international recognitions of 4 new Russian territories, including Donetsk, Lugansk, Kherson, Zaporozhye and Crimea, and withdrawal of all Ukrainian troops from all of these territories, as well as a neutral status for Ukraine. Ukraine cannot join any military coalitions, cap on Ukrainian military capabilities, full rights for Ukraine's Russian-speaking population, as well as making Russian as an official language in Ukraine, and lifting restrictions on Ukrainian Orthodox Church, and restoration of diplomatic and economic ties between Moscow and Kiev. And Medinsky led Russia's delegation and stated actually that Moscow has proposed to return over 6,000 Ukrainian military bodies. Let's listen in.
We have more than 6,000 bodies. Out of humanitarian considerations, we're offering to return these bodies to the Ukrainian side so that their families and relatives can bury them humanely in a Christian manner. We identified whoever we could. There is a large proportion of those who've identified. We don't know if they have such bodies. If there are any, they can also load them into our refrigerator trucks and return them.
Russian chief negotiator Medinsky has also underlined the fact that this, and I'm going to quote, that this memorandum is not an ultimatum but a good comprehensive proposal that will allow either a genuine ceasefire or a long-term peace to be achieved. And Russia has also underlined that its memorandum, that it wants Ukraine to hold the presidential election. And we've heard about this on a number of times, and Moscow has been repeatedly underlined that it wants Kiev to hold elections. And as Moscow proposed the Ukrainian side to reclaim the bodies of the 6,000 military personnel, Zelensky on his behalf has actually criticized this idea.
As they've said about the ceasefire, they are ready for 2 to 3 day ceasefire to retrieve the bodies from the battlefields. I think they are idiots because the ceasefire is needed to prevent the killings. This 2-3 day game is just a game of rhetoric. The military are on the battlefield, but Mr. Medinsky, as I've been saying from the very beginning, is a man of a wrong level. They don't even understand technical details. On the battlefields, the military exchange the bodies of the dead very often, unfortunately.
And according to the reports prior to the talks between the Russian and Ukrainian delegations, Medinsky had a bilateral meeting with Ukraine's Rustem Umerov, who's the chief negotiator from the Kiev side, and he's also Ukraine's defense minister. And the talks actually lasted for 2.5 hours. And this reportedly helped to pave the way for further effective negotiations between the two sides. And ahead of the talks, of course, we have to mention the Ukrainian memorandum. And ahead of the talks, the Financial Times has posted and a complete text of Kiev's so-called peace memorandum, and it included key points, the following key points: full and unconditional ceasefire, insurance against another war, as well as guarantees of security and sovereignty. All of that and everything that we've been witnessing, of course, the talks seem to have been productive, but of course, only time will tell.
Right. Gentlemen, these are the conditions. You listen to it. This is Russia's proposal. All of the things they listed, if they cannot get it, Ukraine will not be free. Before the collapse of the USSR, Ukraine, Russia was the spoken language, but when it took over, they got rid of the Russian language and decided to bring the Ukrainian language in. Russia is asking them to bring that back. And I don't think the Ukrainians are going to do this. They will not be part of any military alliance. It's not going to happen. They want to keep all of those Russian territory, the Ukrainian territory that they already have. Ukraine will not allow it. Guys, you're listening to this. What say you? Thomas, I will start with you, and then we'll end with Padoli.
Yes, that ain't going to happen. I think Ukraine is not going to allow that, but also in the long run, Russia is not going to allow that. And let's go back to the beginning of this war. In 2014. The Russian population in the Donbass region, that would include the Donetsk, the Lugansk, the Oblast, and the Rostov Oblast in Russia. This whole region that Russia now occupied, these people voted overwhelmingly to be part of mainland Russia, including Crimea. You understand? So that is actually the beginning of the war. The reason that this war even started, this was because of this region, that every day in 2014, every day, the Ukrainian military were carrying on an attack on those people, all right? And these people were calling on the Russian assistance every now and then, but Russia never intervened because of the peace agreement that was signed with the Russian government and Zelensky, even to the extent that the reason that Zelensky now is in power is because of he promised that there will be peace in Ukraine and especially in those areas. That was the first thing that the people voted this guy they call Zelensky into power. All right. When he got into power, he changed everything. everything. He changed everything. Like, I mean, everything, that even in school, that there will be no Russian languages that will be teach to those kids. All right. So in 2014, Russia claimed Crimea, and those people are very happy with Russian occupying that whole island. The same assistance the Donbass region was asking for those assistance for a very long time. It was not that long when Russia intervened with a special military operation. All right. Now, if you look at this whole thing, these two countries has never even declared an official war. So neither Ukraine, neither Russia has officially declared a war between them. So the mission is still an special military operation. All right. So yes, I would say that Russia would never let that whole area go because it is part of the reason that they are fighting for. So they will not let it go. I don't think NATO, because if it leave with the people of Ukraine, the Ukrainian population, they want this to be over with. The last election that was held in Ukraine against that, the people want, they don't even want to join NATO. The mass number of people that stated that they don't want, the poll is overwhelmingly that the people in Ukraine don't even want to be part of NATO. But it's because of the West, because of their interest, and because of United States interest, they want to get Ukraine into NATO. But that is not going to happen, because if that happened, if Russia let this area go, that will be a huge disappointment for the people of the Donbass region, and it's a win-win opportunity for the West as well, because that whole mineral agreement that Trump signed with Zelensky, there where the mineral is in the Donbass region. If you look at the map, the most mining part of Ukraine, it is the Donbass region. It is the richest part of Ukraine, actually, and those places are the ethnic Russian speaking group. So this whole peace agreement that was held on Monday, I think is a fiasco, because after what has already took place on Sunday, there was nothing to be discussed, actually, because the first agreement that was held, it was like they were emphasizing on more dead body, the 6,000 dead body that you hear about, and more children that Russia said that Russia want to give back to the Ukraine, because Russia captured a lot of, or rescued a lot of children. But Ukraine, on their own paper, they say Russian adopt a lot of younger children, so they want those children back. So if you look at the two-peace agreement, if you lay the Russian side on the paper, it's more organized. But if you lay the Ukrainian strategic key point, what they need, it's not organized. So for my understanding, I think if Russia let this go, China is watching, because here is the geopolitics that is playing. Let me ask you guys a question. Since the war began, where do you think NATO money has gone?
Okay, so that's the question.
That's the question. So imagine China is watching. So there's tons of billions of war equipment that was pumped into Ukraine and then destroyed by. Yes, sir.
Thomas, thank you very much. I think you're making a good point here. We got a lot to discuss on the topic. Paul, I think we can call this guy a research analyst for the Boil on this town and the international, saying we'll call you another time to go more on this. We got a lot on the agenda. Yes, I know the question is so big, so we have to move on. Paul, let's put a whole. Let's if you mind, let's move to the Liberian local dailies. This is a very, very good point you put through.
Paul, I mean, Jamel, let me just say something about this referendum. This referendum that my friend and brother is talking about. In September 2020, in September 2022, the referendum that my friend was talking about, Tiki is talking about, Russia Russia invaded that part of Ukraine, installed its own military style governors and people there, and people had no choice but to agree for Russia to take. For Russia, for them to be annexed by Russia. So that even prompted Russia to even advance its course more by attacking by invading Ukraine at the time. So that's not about geopolitics. It's about the interest of Russia being an adversary to Ukraine, seeing that his name Zelensky was not playing to his tune anymore. Zelensky was taking, he was a man on his own, and he was taking on behalf of the Ukrainian people. So I just wanted to add that. I just want to share that.
I know it's a quite interesting topic here. I think people follow Paul. I know you might want to run the international desk. Quite interesting here.
No, Jamal. Yeah, before we go to the Liberian news, it just fitting. But Padore wanted to say something. You can't just want to say something first before
right.
about the Istanbul peace talk.
Yeah, am I allowed to come up now? I'm just gonna be brief.
Padore?
Yeah. You can hear me?
You want to talk something about it? Yeah, we're hearing you.
All right. No, about the peace talk in Turkey. From the way I've been watching the entire program down there, is I look at it to be a joking matter, because they are not doing, or they're not seeing anything tangible that people will rely on. They say, oh, yeah, peace coming to Ukraine, because they are putting on all kinds of demands. Ukraine say they must turn the children over, they must turn this and turn that, and Russia say this and that and rest of it, and they are not even talking about the peace talk. So I don't think there's something good going on in that area. But one thing I do know, even quite recently, if anybody can remember, one of the senior politicians of Ukraine was gone down. So those that came in, up to now, the government refused to reveal their identity. So that is a serious matter in Ukraine. Ukraine have the two internal problems right now. That's why I can tell anybody.
Okay, it's just one thing that caught my ear in that particular video.
Go on,
It was just one thing that caught my attention in that particular video. That was Russia said that this memorandum is not an ultimatum given to Ukraine, meaning they are not telling them you must do this, if you don't do this. So it means that there are still rooms open for more discussion. So I just wanted to add up there.
You know, gentlemen, Paul, they always the international scene. It's quite interesting to discuss. If you keep going on, we'll go on and on and on. And, you know, and it's something to discuss. If we have, I think we need to take a day where we'll look at the international side and we'll just bring Thomas in and to get other issues, because I think it's a divided. What do you call it? When Thomas came at some point, Francis were having to make some comment on other things. So we got to have issues here and there. I mean, debate here and there. So I think we have to find a time where we have a day where we discuss this in details, because the international scene, more especially Ukraine, is a big discussion. It's a very discussion point we need to look into seriously. Not only forgetting that Africa, so that's also happening around Africa. We shouldn't forget that. There are other issues happening in Sudan, happening in other African countries. So we need to also be highlighting these things in our discussion in the future as well. That's my suggestion to you, Paul. I may run the international desk.
Thank you. Although you ran away from the discussion and you came back with all, because we wanted your input too, but however, we move on to Francis to take us through the Liberia. But
I don't want to discuss. What I want to say, others have said it, so it's not like repeating it here. So it's something about, more especially like discussing the international politics. Like, I'm just fed up. because for me, it's nothing. It doesn't change anything. There's too much hypocrisy going on around the world. We talk about it. So for me, it's just waste of time to discuss these things for me. So I'll respect other opinions. I'll respect you guys' opinion. That's why I sit to listen. I don't want to say anything but I believe that we're discussing these things. One of the big brothers, world police have not agreed to change things. Nothing happened. So we just discuss it on and on. That's what I believe. So, but despite that, I still respect you guys' opinion and your thought on this platform. That's why I don't comment on this international scene a lot.
Okay, guys. Let's transition to Liberia.
Thank you. So,
what is happening?
As
So
we transition to the Liberian thing, so Francis, we take a short break and then you take over from me.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace. Hems vocal, Liberia number one vocal, Liberia number one, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hans Vodka, Hans Honey, Hans Bitter, and Hans Original Vodka. Hans Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drank Mama happy. Hans Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hans Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000 We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hans Vodka or www.hansvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hans North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hans Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hans Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my boy in my blood. Every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it. We are spot. And forgot that number one. Oh, from Liberia all around. In supermarket store and everywhere. And forgot that number one. Oh.
Yeah, guys, welcome back to the most interesting segment of this podcast tonight. We'll be talking about Mama Liberia, what has happened, the major impact, the shakers and movers around Monrovia and Liberia. So high on the agenda tonight is Liberia's ascendancy to the United Nations Security Council. We are a non-permanent member. We are non-permanent member of that body. So it's interesting. We analysts are projecting that Liberia will have leverage to interact with other powerful nations around the world. So that is very important. So we will talk about it. We'll talk about two things. Three things on my mind. One is the Liberia ascendancy to the non-permanent position, the seat. The second one is the upcoming protest in July or June or whatever it is by Stan. And the third one is the labor minister backtracking. He said he did not offer 8,000 jobs. I don't know how could he generate, because he boasted about contributing to the envelope of the budget of Liberia over a couple of millions. Now he have been pushed when they ask him who or what kind of jobs did you give to these people that it should be, That was Jordan and push him to the wall that the jobs you give Liberia want to know the 8,000 jobs you give to foreigners. Aren't they jobs that Liberians can do themselves? So the minister said you're coming back the next day. The next day went up to 3 weeks now. And he came out today saying that, hey, I did not give 8,000 jobs. They narrowed it down to 2,000. But even at that, you get 2,000 jobs. What kind of jobs you give the people? So we discussed it's on front page Africa. So Paul, while we talk about Liberia ascendancy, you can be looking at that. Then you can put it up. So you can put a Liberian our victory today at the United Nations headquarters in Washington D.C. or in New York. Your headquarters is in New York, right? Yeah. So guys, why you take? We're going around on the on the screen. We'll take Jamel first.
That link for good friend Louis.
Yeah, we'll take Jamel. Then we'll take Paul. Then we'll come down to Bakita, Bataki. Then we'll go to Pap Dolly. Then we go to Linford last. So, Jamel, what's your take on that? I mean, what do you expect? What do you think that Liberia will gain from being on that seat?
Well, thank you. Liberia will be after 64 years.
The advantages.
Yeah, the advantages after that, we will be among the, Liberia, just to start our background information, Liberia will be replacing Sierra Leone on that particular non-permanent positions at the United Nations, where, your votes will be required on major decision making around the world at the United Nations. So they will be lobbying with you to get your attention. And you also be making a big vote geopolitics, politics, African politics, and the world at large. So you are at a certain level, you are among committee of nations to discuss issues at a higher level. So it's been reported, just another addition. Chinese, the Indians were in Liberia to talk to Liberia to join them to do a global fight against terrorism. So after 64 years, 2 years, Liberia is going back to the permanent position, non-permanent position at the United Nations. Is at a higher level. It gives you a leverage in decision making around the world. That's key. And also, you always do the talk, because you gather to that position, certain things must be done before you get that right to get to that seat. So a lot of campaigns have been going on. Liberia have been fighting. So after all the wars we had, the trouble we have in our country, the COVID, the Ebola, the war, and we're back to where we're supposed to be. And it's a hard off to Liberia as a whole. So big thing for us. And also as an African nation, after 178 years, we'll be in July this year. I hope practically, physically, we have not gained anything, but on the international thing, we've done a lot. Also, our team, my colleagues here, Linford is also here. We have over 5,000 Liberian ships registered on our flags. Those are big things happening around the world for us as well. So it's a kudos to Liberia for today.
Oh, thank you, Jim. So, Paul, what say you? I mean, what is your take on it? What are the prospects? What is happening? Liberia, is Liberia coming to receive millions of dollars or just by being on the Security Council non-permanent seat?
Well, thank you, Francis. I wish Liberia could receive millions of dollars to help our people. It would be a great thing. But this role is not new to Liberia. First of all, I want to congratulate the government and the past government for taking the initiative to get Liberia on this new role. The two governments, they have done well to get Liberia. But the bottom line is getting there. Liberia also is a founding member of the UN. So Liberia have been in a cycle for years. It's nothing new to Liberia. But what benefit does it bring to Liberia? Because at home in Liberia, the present government is a rule breaker that violates the constitution of Liberia. They do not live by rules. Then how come now they set out a seat that they will be going around the world to advocate for peace? So I see it in a way, I think it's about time that they do something well. Liberia being there, it's no news to me. We've been there. We were the first before all African countries, so it's nothing new to get into that seat. So the celebration here, to me, I just see it as, okay, Liberia being, but decision making, voting, Liberia always vote one side in the UN, they always vote against, they always vote on the side of America. So I don't see it as anything great to Liberia. It just showed clear-cut indication that when America vote, say we're going to keep Israel, to keep slaughtering the people, Liberia will vote on the side of America. So there's nothing new here to me. That's how I see it. Until tell me that they're bringing millions of dollars to Liberia to ease the bread and butter problem in Liberia, I will be jumping up and down here. But I don't see anything new in this. We've been in that road before.
Well, thank you, Paul. So I think the Afro Security Council they need to dismantle it, because the people, the members of the Security Council, are people who do not follow rules in their own country and around the world. Russia, China, and America. So I think Liberia shouldn't be a basis of Liberia not being there. Yeah. But anyway, Bataki, there's a saying around that this whole administration, both UP administration, and I'll leave that for Linford. But let me just take this for you. I mean, what's your take on that? What do you think Liberia is going to achieve? Does it going to make Liberia any better as a country?
Thank you so much, Brother Francis. Where I really don't know at this particular standpoint, because look at what is going around us in the world today. Where is the UN? First of all, you may ask, where is the UN Security Council with all of these things triggering around us? Where do they stand? So for Liberia to make any impact at this particular point, I think I mean, it's 0%. If I will actually give a percentage on it, because as my brother said, lean forward. Liberia always want to put itself on the world stage, and by doing the American bid. And in 2022 or 2023, December 13, when all of the country voted for ceasefire in Gaza, because Liberia always want to, show themselves that they are small America in Africa. They always go along with America, and then that breaks my heart actually, because such decisions for somebody or for a country that passed in a 14-year civil war and making such a decisions that there should be no ceasefire in Gaza, I actually doubt that they will make any impact on the role or the seat that they occupied. So I think that is my point. And Liberia will continuously to vote with America. Whatever America decisions are, Liberia will always stand for them. Where I will also say that this is the opportunity for us to use our voice for us to change the narrative of what is going on in the United Nations Secretary, in the United Nations Council, Security Council. So, but are they going to show that? I don't know. So,
thank you. No, but listen, we voted. Our last president went there. He voted against. He voted for America. He voted with America. He came back after 17 sanctions. He lost. He said that was a mistake. So they voted against America. So we stand on record that voted against America. After the after effect, we came back. He said he voted against. He put against America at the AG at the American General Assembly because what happened.
Yes. Anyway, so Francis, but one thing I want to mention, right after that December 13th vote, that Liberia voted for non-ceasefire in Gaza. I think many people didn't cover the news, but a ship that was carrying the Liberian flag passing through the canal between the Houthi. The Houthi blew it up because it had Liberian flag on it. I posted that on my Facebook page, and I think the last recent incident that happened, I think it was not a coincidence, because many times Liberian flag has been mistakenly as the United States flag. You understand? So these guys will continuously to do, as this guy, they continue to vote with America, and people will always mistaking our flag to be American flag, and they will do the West.
Okay, Pop Dolly.
Yeah.
What's he? I mean, this is time for us to go back home. Got Liberians on the. I mean, leave the UK, leave all that fish and chips, and gotta go back home to eat our pepper soup, drink pepper soup, and eat our cassava. Leave there, man. Because Liberians on the Security Council now, on the non-permanent on the seat.
Yeah. Thank you very much. No, let me tell you something. Let us not deceive ourselves here. First of all, before we make any comment or suggestion on this issue here, we should look back to the history of our country. The president of the former president of Liberia, who was President Tower, went against some of the idea of America. What happened to him at the end of the day? Because President Tower was the first Liberian president to stand frankly to say that Israel should start misbehaving what he did. He's a Palestinian. And that did not go well with America. At the end of the day, we will leave. So the Liberian leaders will always vote for America. Whether you like it or not, you will always do it. Because they know when they didn't do it, the end.
What I'm seeing here, is it going to bring any benefit to us? We know we'll vote for America.
Yeah, I come in. I'm just trying to bring up that history. One of the reasons why we always circumvent to America and we always puppet to America, that's one of the things that I'm telling you. Because we can't stand against America interest. Under no circumstances, when it happens, we bear the consequences. But this particular issue here, you look at the time frame of being member of this Security Council, it's just 1 year, 12 months. In that 12 months, right now the entire war are conflict. No stabilization is going on at this moment. For people to go on a diplomatic table to lobby for this and that and rest of it. But in 12 months, Liberia will not do anything. So, I don't know what Liberia will rather bring to us in this matter because of the situation what we have on hand right now. So I don't have much to say about it, but I do know that we will not vote against America and we will not be able to bring any tangible issue to the Liberian people from that Security Council. Because the entire Security Council is in limbo at this moment. They are local hell on one another. And we are just there as an observer to take side with some of the big hand. So that's it. That's all I can say here.
Okay, thanks. That's a very good point. But Lefa, that's here. Before, I mean, we are all heads over heels right now. We are sitting on us, on our non-permanent seat, our most important seat. But now, here's the problem. I mean, I want to ask you, also, a political analyst and a journalist. I mean, who will claim this victory? Is that the CDC or the Unity Party?
Well, let me first of all say congratulations to Liberia and all Liberians for going back to what the status that we used to be. Can you guys take down this? I made something here. And Liberia going back to its normal day status. That is, we're gaining our place in the international community. And the question as to who takes the glory for this achievement, I think no particular government should take glory because government is continuity. If that will hold in our case as a country, then somebody will start. It's like, all of us as our brothers. Then one person start building the house. The person package go low, or maybe the person travel, then he say, "But our brother will be in the house." So Francis start laying the block. Then when you go low, possible, okay, maybe I'll put it in. Then Timaso, that mean will plaster it. And you know, everybody do their own. So government is continuity. But in the instance where a particular government will want to take glory to school political point, then I think their trivial loss in the whole victory. It will be trivial because it will not be of any importance. And I will address one or two issues. One of the things that Bataki highlighted is Liberia's alignment or very close tie to America. Today, I made a post that Liberia's very close ties to America could jeopardize the votes that we could get to win. Let me make it clear. I don't know how the voting goes on in that place, but most of the countries in Africa now and around the world, they are seeing America as the aggressor. And so if that is happening, then countries that are aligning to them, you know, they will also be taking or seen as aggressors as well, because if you are my enemy and I see your friend, you as my enemy and you are your friend walking, and I will also consider that your friend to be my enemy some kind of way. So Liberia was lucky; they needed at least 128 votes to win, but they got 181. So, but I was already a little bit skeptical as to whether countries will want to vote for us, knowing our alignment to America, because whatever you vote, if the UN Security Council, if whatever America pushes, the agenda they push is what people will go by. Okay, that's why in fact they don't want to increase the permanent membership. Okay? Now, then the question that you asked earlier on as to what are the benefits, what does Liberia stand to benefit? There is no financial benefit there. So let me get clear that one first. Because in Liberia, the moment we hear the kind of thing, the first important thing is say government going to pocket or whole lot of money from there. No, there are no benefits. It's all political. It's all political. And there are 5 to 6 major things that you know your country can stand to participate in, which is not a benefit per se. It's just like you're a member of the football team and you have to do your part, okay? Or you're a member of the organization and you have to do your part, okay? Now, number one is they will influence global policy, okay? They will be able to participate in the discussion of global policy. They will sit down on the table, let's put it that way, and they got to bring something on the table, okay? That's one of the things. Then the second thing is they will be helping to shape the agenda. Let's say the 5 permanent members have made an agenda for a particular meeting or a particular sitting, and then the non-permanent members can say, no, you know, I think we need to add this one. We let the members, the other countries go there and sit there and listen to what have been played on the agenda already. For instance, it's like you are EFLA chairman, and then you make an agenda, and then you and your officials, you're starting brainstorming before you're bringing the really members. So that's one of the rules that, you know, the non-permanent member will be playing, and that is no benefit to the country or the individual country per se. Then the third thing is the networking and enhanced status. Of course, it will enhance your status because other people look at you. It's like we are here, and all of a sudden, Francis Mensah say, "Oh, Paul, you will be my next assistant, my vice president." So then you raise Paul, or you raise Paul Murat. I'm sorry, my little delay is here. That's why there's no way to control it. Okay. Then the fourth thing that you know the country stand to benefit, or your being there stands to do is your responsibility to you know to be able to interact with other members. Because they will listen to you. Other member countries who are non-permanent members will also listen to you. You can influence them. And the another thing is you create wider contact. Like probably you might be sent to negotiate certain things. Okay. And lastly, like you do regional representation. So who knows? Say Liberia is only ECOWAS country. There, if anything happens, they can say, okay, Liberia, you will be responsible for it. So those are the things, but there is no particular benefit to the individual country. Like, okay, we'll give your money, we'll do this. No, and probably which is not among the responsibilities of the non-permanent member. But I'm thinking that probably if anything, any trouble in your country, since you are a non-permanent member, if any trouble in your country, probably the UN can take a quicker decision, instead of sitting and waiting for the normal protocol and bureaucratic, delay.
Okay, I mean, just to know, for us to move on, God, because of time, we have this. We go to the protest, the upcoming protest, June by about 10. Who is claiming that enough is enough, and it's a door-to-door, house-to-house, conversing to have people in the streets. They claim that the government is not doing well, So, my question to you guys is, look, will protest change anything? And besides, a man who is leading the protest was the same person who were against protest before. They saw protest as a means or as an action of to bringing the government into, bring the government into international disrepute and so forth. So, is it going to change anything in Liberia? Basically because of the person who was heading the protest. Guys, so what you guys?
Send my end is still quiet a little bit. Let me take it quick. But who's heading the protest in the first place? I haven't read much about it, so please let me know if I made mistakes. Okay. Oh, right. Stem. Yeah, Stem. Okay. It's good that the person who is leading the protest knows what protest can do, and they know where protest can lead to. But let me say that protest. Whenever I hear people say, whether the protest will change anything, protest is not a revolution. So let's get this straight. Protest is not going to change any agenda, anything. Protest is to mount pressure on the power that be to do what they are forgetting to do, or to do what they're supposed to do and they are not doing. So, normally Liberian politicians, when they say protest, you went tell the president here around, you went move all the ministers and change, and no. And this is where Liberian government get it wrong. And this is where they do not allow the people to exercise their right as enshrined in the Constitution. Protest is part of our democratic process. That's why it is in the Constitution. Nobody is sneaking protest in the society. No, it's there. It's written that you have the right to do that, but do it peacefully. Whether it ends peacefully or violently, that's a different thing. But it is your right to do it. Now, it is your right to be born, but how you live, whether you be rich man, you be poor man, you be thief, that is it. But it's your right to be born once, yeah. But protest is not a revolution to say, okay, we're going to twist everything around. It's not a military coup. No. Protest could also lead to finishing a form of government, I agree. But generally, protest is not a revolution. Whether he resisted protest in the past, he knows what protest can do, and that's why he's organizing one. But that does not deny the Liberian people of having protest. Now, and the last thing I want to close on, when they say they're going from door to door to canvas for people to go and protest, you think the people know whether they're suffering? So you gotta go back there, you gotta go tell and say, oh my man, I've been. Instead of you eat, so where protest can go. The poor know he haven't been eating and he needs to mount protest. You gotta go begging. For the Liberian people, we are special kind of people. What we're supposed to do, we don't do. There is a verse in the Bible in Romans chapter 7 verse 7. Paul say, what I'm supposed to do, I don't do. But the thing that I'm not supposed to do, that's what my spirit can tell me to do. And then he attributes it to the devil. You see it? So Liberian people, the thing they're supposed to do, they can't do it. Your catching happen. Don't do your catching happen. I'm kind to do. Man, hey, you're not here yesterday, eh? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go protest.
Yeah, also.
If you know, you can go protest.
Okay, I mean, thank you for that. So I see Pap Dollar. Like he really worked on it here. I
Yeah,
see. Okay,
yeah,
what you
yeah,
say? For your own Pap Dollar.
yeah. Thank you very much. To be, what making me laugh in the whole thing is the fellow who is organizing the protest. He got a tinted characters in our Liberian politics. But let us not look at that for now. What I do know that politics is about, I mean, the protest is about is a message that people are revealing to the sitting government to tell the government this is the thing that is happening and you are not doing the right thing. That is a message that you're going to put it out. And the protest can lead to removal of the government if the government don't be careful because he sometimes cause incitement in the public. And when those that have the capacity to turn the government hand behind their back and put hand on it, they might be driven by that message from the protest. So once protest is organized, government need to be very, very to see what is the meaning of the protest. So the particular protest that they're going to have next month, July. Where is the message? I don't know where is the message because when we started talking about this protest, it was based on the way activity were going on to capture Benin. It was not conducive. You know, a lot of lawlessness was taking place. The president was playing dead years. All this kind of stuff and things that were going on. But that capture Benin, finally, what's supposed to be done rightfully, he was not done. And the country is going on right now. So I don't know when will be and what is the message of this protest on July 17th. I don't know. Until we can know what will be the message, then I can able to make that comment on that properly.
So, okay, Pap. Since thanks for that. It's beautiful, comment on that. So we'll go to my own man Paul. I know Paul is he's a part of that protest. So what do you think? What do you think? You're gonna bring the CDC back into power, right?
No, I mean, thank you for that. Yeah, Pat Dolly asked a question, and I got some newspaper clip here. The reason why they protest about me just put this there so Pat Dolly can see. They say, if you see the cycle over there, they're talking about the government under pressure to account for $48 billion. That's the steering group is on their website. This particular article is one of the things they're talking about. Because during the CDC time, it will bring back our 16 billion. Now this group said it's 48 billion. So the government should give account of the 48 million. So Padori, just to answer your question, that's what the protest is all about. But I don't, Francis, thank you for this. In Liberia, the people who benefit from protests, that the people against protests. The current government benefited from this last protest, what they call June 7 protest. That when our current president said the seat is not for boys, it's for men. The men is sitting now in the seat now and behaving like a boy. So this guy want to reverse the whole thing to let the people know what can happen in door, I can happen in Cal. So this is all a political thing. It's not about the people. It's just to see how they can bring the other group back to power. Simple. If people in Liberia feeding the crunch, they themselves will wake up and march to the executive mansion and demand. But when a group of people organize, it's politically motivated, and that will encourage other people to vote for them next time. So this is what it's all about. You see? So to answer the question, what can I can do? So it just takes that time by these two political parties that I think Liberians should get rid of them and talk about 10 options that will make that country like we now sitting on Security Council seat. for that recognition. You need serious money government to run Liberia. But the two people, it will just be taken time until we find the right person. That's what I have to say on this.
Thank you, Paul. So I'll leave this for my man Jamel, the last with me. But we know Jamel we got about, let's say, 22 minutes left. We got two more topics. We got George Weah and Mr. Cummings meeting and the labor minister. So, but Pataki, let's give us a 2-3 minutes, take on this, sir.
So you start with me first?
No.
All right, Pataki coming. Who's coming? Okay, I'll just do my comment. 2, 3.
Yeah, go ahead.
With the July 17 protest, look, listen, it's a good thing. I must tell you, every government needs the pressure. This is what the political parties were not doing. So Stan is taking a chance on that to be an advocate group, to put government feet to fire, to let them know what is going on. It's not like they may not be able to identify issues that are statistically to identify where issues need to be identified. In this one, I want to see. If you say, okay, electricity, road to network, road to fire something, healthcare delivery, wages, stuff like that, the bread and butter issue should be highlighted to the people, not say we want reforms. It's bulky for me. So those are things, those people that are doing the protest should be able to explain to Liberia, to sell that idea to Liberian that this is why we're doing the protest. But if you want to set up a movement that want to put gain some political points, well, so be it. We have the environment, we have the political landscape to do it. You can do it. This is it. But please, we should not escalate to something else. That's why I wish for like my colleagues say, every Liberian has a right to protest, but in a very dignified way. But I would love to know why they're protesting for. It's not clear. Why we're suffering. Suffering on what? The rice price has gone up. Are we running out of food in the country? Do we have a problem with healthcare delivery system? Highlight these things. These are key points, specifics. On that note, that's I want to speak on that. So we can able to see if we can support these protests. Protests need to put government feet to fire. We should not discourage this movement. The political parties are not doing it. The government of the day should also understand that people that are watching and also let them know that we can't continue to live. If they can tell us the way we are living is not going well, let them pinpoint those areas, let us know where those areas are not being well looked at, so the government can look at them. That will be my comment on this government side.
Thank you very much. Okay. But Taki, like your 3 minutes go, we got less than 15 minutes to run, guys.
Yes, sir. I think I will go with Brother Jamel. There is a reason for every protest. And if that reason is not defined, the objective, it is not clear to the people, I think the people should not get on the streets. Secondly, the people who are leading these protests, they are all politicians. They were once, people was once protesting against them as well. But then the question I want to highlight here, why always there is a protest between June and July, and always June 7, July 7? What is the significance? Is it during that month of time when the Liberian? No, it's serious. Is it between June and July the people get hungry or something go by in Liberia, or the politician? Sorry.
They made that campaign right there. You got it. They did the CDC on June 7, so you want to do on July 7.
So that's my thing. I think it's just I don't know.
I think there is no connection between that. It's just coincidental. One and two, the government has been in power for 1.5 years now, so it would have been premature. Most people ask that if they had it in the protest last year, major protest. You say, oh, but the government just started.
You're talking about the month, not the monument.
What the month you're talking about?
I'm saying there's no correlation between that. They ain't got nothing to do with it, It's just
okay, guys.
I'll rest my case.
Okay, guys. Let's go to the
serious. Before Francis, before we move on quickly, the organizer of this protest have contacted me. They want to appear on the bottom line. So with the 3 names that I'll put forward, so we'll be bringing them on to explain to us why they want to protest. So just to let you know, we might do that sometime next week.
Oh, that is beautiful. That would be awesome to have them on this show.
Yeah, let him come on so we can ask a few questions.
Okay, guys, but let's take the labor minister. I mean, you guys got any somebody our team am I put it up? I know you guys did not prepare for that, but let's see. You can put the labor minister up his press conference that he had and a statement or release from the labor ministry. Or we can put we can talk about why you putting us. Why you putting it? Or let's talk about former President George Weah and Mr. Azana Cummings. They had a lengthy meeting. And people got the saying that politics breeds strange bedfellows. So I don't know why you guys think of man. George Weah was the nightmare the other day. He was an incompetent guy. He couldn't work with. All of a sudden now is the guy that we can run to. And also, what do you guys think? I mean, I know we have
that is very opinionated.
We got a lot of.
When you say that, it's very much opinionated.
What makes it opinionated?
George Weah was the president.
You have press conferences.
Yeah, but George Weah was the president at the time. George Weah was the president at the time, and there were things expected of him as president of the country to do. So if he didn't do it, anybody could condemn him. Now George Weah is
that was what said. So what do you guys? I know there's a pro ENC platform, but understand. I mean, you guys tell me, what do you guys think? Do you think? I mean, the meeting will yield a bond, a working relationship, a president and vice president ticket?
Yeah, can I come in quickly? Because
go ahead, brother. That the ANC will be thinking.
Yeah, this is really interesting. You see, listen. Francis, let me tell you something. Politics is about.
I was still on the floor. I'm feeling you.
Sorry. Wrong.
I'll be very sorry. Let me say this, Francis. Let me say this. Your assessment or your conclusion that George Weah yesterday was the incompetent guy, all these things that are opinionated. It's just an opinion. George Weah was not ordinary citizen. Yeah, but wait. George Weah was not ordinary citizen. He was president. He was elected. I don't know why you're still trying to defend him.
No, I'm telling you, I didn't say that was the words of Mr. Cummings and Makuda and people that elect for you guys.
Mr. Cummings said that. Mr. Cummings said that because George Weah was in a particular position. There you go. That's what I'm telling you, that George Weah was in a particular position at that time. Right now, if Cummings wants to run and George Weah is not president, Cummings can say, can't vote for me. It doesn't matter. He has one vote to give. That's his right. So if the two of them meet, it means that yesterday when you were president and you were failing to do something, that Cummings did not have the right to condemn him. The same way today we are condemning Bouaka. Now, or the government, if anything happens, and Bouaka is not president again, and George Weah want to be president, he can say, go to Bouaka and say, I want your vote. Simple. So I just want to clear that. But their meeting, I think it was good. They are politicians, and politicians will have to meet all the time to probably, there was something that Mr. Cummings wanted to know, because George Weah had been president before, and Cummings had not been president. Cummings wants to be president. So probably their meeting, he asked him something, my man, when you're there, how was he? How can I do that? Well, so it's nothing wrong with that.
I'm making pay visit to Charles State. I think when one about presidency, they go to here and go visit Charles State up. So you president get a better insight. That year, Papa, go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't know what your problem.
Yeah, Lambo, please give me a chance a little bit. I beg. Francis, let me tell you something. In politics, there's no permanent enemies, no permanent friendship.
Yes, sir.
So, tomorrow, in politics, someone can be your best friend tomorrow. Last year, somebody can be your enemy.
Okay.
That is politics. So politics is a day-to-day activity of a human being. Right now, the ANC want to come to power. and they have to do everything possible to get to the power. Even he caused us to go to super on the street and tell them the reason why we need to come.
Wait, just say it cost us.
I said, even he caused us to go to the least man on the floor. Not so much about Joe Weir. Joe Weir is a citizen of the country. He got a follower. He got people that look into him. When he tell them, you please give your support to Mr. Suso sometime. The follower them will let you do that. So basically, we will go. I mean, ANC will go to anybody.
So ANC member?
ANC. I said ANC.
Oh, okay. I thought I was saying we.
It was a slave of tongue. I said it was a slave of tongue. I said ANC can go to anybody and love it to bring us to power. So obviously, but Joe, we are having conversation with Okumi. I don't think it's a crime.
Okay, we'll leave it right there. We short our time. Baki, I'll leave the two ANC people for last. I know you're neutral, man.
Yeah.
So, but Tiki, but Taki, why just stay on there? I mean, they give her 2 minutes of your take on that 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, I think I will skip this as for Francis. Sorry, no comments.
Okay, I'm not
because looking at the George Weah regime, the past regime, looking at all of this criticism from the ANC, and looking at this picture right in front of me with the ANC leader sitting with the previous government, I think it speaks a lot. I mean, if someone cannot understand or look through smoke and mirror to see what is happening right here, I think then we should just lay it down. But I have no comments on this.
That's what we're saying. Okay. Yeah, I'll leave it. I mean, I know I come here. I'm poor. I know. I mean, Paul, what's up? What you take? What your take on it? It's a good thing, right?
Very good thing. I don't know why United Party people are so scared of this when they see things that they're happening. The two least competent people, George Manuel Weah and Joseph Numa Barker, were elected into the office. The two least, I'm saying, incompetent people were elected. So, in the eyes of Liberians, for the
9%, 48, the 1% and 49.
I agree. But you ask question, you can't give me chance. The two least incompetent people have been elected into office in Liberia. So, in a serious country, President Barker, President Weah, who have been president in a serious country. But then Africa is a strange place. Now, there's a young man I'm going to compare to these people in Burkina Faso. If he had ran for election, he will now win. But this guy is performing wonders. So if Weah, who is so popular, align himself with Cummings, is that the one that's carrying the United Party people today? That is the question. Remember this. They say you can do anything to get into office. Maybe there's some alliance that they're building. We don't know what the meeting was about. But remember, during the runoff, the 1%, Joseph Barker keep running to the 1% for support. George Weah, the 43%, keep running to Mr. Cummings for support. So we know that the Boca's 1% is nothing. But it should not scare United Party, the alliance that it's not an alliance, the two people met. So meeting is nothing until we get the information on what happened from there. But if these two people decide say they want to run, I think it'll be a good thing. One must say it'll be a good thing. They can have a gentleman agreement, memorandum of understanding that gave me, based on my popularity, let's go. I will serve 1 term. Is my view I'm giving here. I will serve 1 term and pass the baton on to you. Because if that can happen in Burkina Faso, a young man that nobody knew came to change the narrative, probably there could be another way around it. that because people in Liberia always go for the PC. Listen now, let me finish. Then you
don't get hanky. Who will serve one time first?
In Liberia,
who will serve one time first? I don't know who will serve
who will serve one term first. The person who will run as president.
I'll conclude. Exactly. Let me finish. So in Liberia, we have this behavior of choosing FICI people. Liberia say FICI. It means incompetent people to lead. So if John Weah will, it could be Weah or coming anywhere around. But if they have agreement, that's fine. That is a way to a presidency. Because we don't go for the straight people, we go for FICI people. That's the fact. And that's how Emma thought.
Okay, thank you. That was a good one.
Well, yeah. Francis, I don't have much to say. I want to ask you a question. On this public platform.
Asking questions today, man.
I want to ask you, because what you're doing right now, you're asking them, you're trying to align everybody with ANC. Do we agree? They all got political affiliations, but where do you stand?
I stand for Liberian people.
You sound like you're a strong supporter of your party.
No, I stand for Liberian people.
You are. You keep saying the same thing. So while you're doing this, you need to stand very neutral.
Okay, no. But Jima, let me get
I stand for Liberian people.
Let me ask you a question, Jima.
He's not. He's a UP. He said it on the show that he support UP 110%. He said it in the last
the way you started
it.
The way you started the question is saying like you pushing people through.
Let me ask Francis. Let me just add to Jima's question. You say you stand for Liberian people. Come and we are not Liberian people. So when they meet, where the problem you got? Are they not Liberians?
They're not in leadership now. So when they get leadership, we stand for
them. That's what make them more Liberian.
but Francis, these are public figures. You know that?
Mr. Dolly, let me speak. Sorry, sir. If you don't want to answer, tell your position. I don't want to answer this question. So let's move to the next topic. Because I think you want to be clear here. Yeah, where you stand. So I'll tell you where I stand. Then we can discuss this further.
Okay, Jimapi, give me your 1 minute.
This is the time for him, please. Let him answer my question. Then I'll let
Jimapi.
If you can tell me the public man as the only powerful Liberian in Europe, where you stand, then I'll tell you where I stand.
I stand for Liberian people.
Why is Akumis and with the President we can't meet? Why are you problem with that?
Oh no, because I think it's a travesty when you condemn, you condemn and you publicly ridicule a man who has no iota of leadership in his blood, in his being, and then I see you shaking your hand. I mean, it's troubling.
Can you say something where you said that?
Francis, you're not to say, man.
I should go look for the tip that
whatever they say you're saying right here, I'll take you back to what John Mahama in Ghana. Under his leadership, when he was leader for one term, he was one of the worst person in Ghana. And they elected him. They said all the nasty thing about him. And the people went back to him, they put him into office. That's another example. Though Mr. Cummings and Joe has no right to meet. That's what you're saying.
Oh, okay, man. What about Joe again?
No. The question. Answer my question. As they don't have the right to meet. That's the question I'm asking.
No, they do. They do have the right to meet.
What is your trouble then?
I don't have any trouble. I'm just asking you guys what it is. What your take on it?
We are saying
my point is
on the neutral ground that Liberia can meet and discuss the political future of the country.
My
because
point is,
Comey has an intention. The George has an expert. I tell you, Paul said this.
It's ironic.
Okay, all right.
It's ironic to see this kind of photo app. Although they went, to see what it is.
So yeah, okay. But you never say anything against the Unity Party's platform. Always you supporting them. Anything, that's what you've been saying here all along. Are you Unity Party sympathizers or else?
Francis, you're not going to say, man, don't go.
I'm a Liberian.
Let me
go on, Paul.
Let me conclude on this.
Let me get there, Francis.
Let Paul take my 1 minute.
Wait, now, Francis, you want to give me your 1 minute too?
So I got 2 minutes. You take one, Paul take one.
Okay.
So, Francis,
Yes,
you know, the way I see the performance of Unity Party is so embarrassing until Unity Party people now, they are afraid that, oh, what they're predicting that, because they still want to maintain power, and they see these two forces coming together. This is the scary bit of Unity Party now to come and say, oh, but communists criticize George Weah. Yes, but then if you have a opinion poll now in Liberia, call George Weah name, call Joseph Barker name, and call communist name, we are will tap them, because in Liberia, the reason why in Liberia we pick the least people to run. So we pick the least people to run a country. So now, George, we are combining forces with what you say 1% in your mind. That is a scary thing. It's scary, the Unity Party now. But I think if I was to advise coming and I think they should have one ticket to get rid of, to make Unity Party a one-term government.
I think
I were to advise.
Okay. You know, the Liberian mentality in politics is different. This is the Liberian mentality. You see, somebody saying,
that's a good discussion.
Somebody saying that you cannot be opposition to a person and then you go and then join that person again. Who told you that? Have you watched the American election? America or
Leave for that.
That Unity Party.
Leave for when I have time or Pap Dorita time. We have Pap Dorita will go.
No, I want to bring something to the attention of Francis. You see, look here, politics is just like this. Politics is based on interest. And right now, let's be realistic, whether we like it or not, when we talk about popularities in Liberia, when you say we're calling people names, George Weah names come first. Even
we are
so right now, while
desperate for power.
What I believe ANC is
desperate people. You start getting drastic.
No. What I believe
for George Weah, and you get called we take a picture.
But President, you can't get Padre chance now to say what he want to say.
I want you to understand politics with the interest in the country where I am right now, which is UK. Labour Democrat and Conservative begin a government here before. And they are far away from one another in terms of ideology.
When?
But at that time.
When?
It was
David Cameron.
No, David Cameron was Prime Minister.
Yeah, then you have the other guy is the deputy. Nick Clegg was a deputy.
Nick Clegg was a deputy to David Cameron. And that even led to Nick Clegg to come down flat, because where he joined was not a place to go. He's supposed to go to a Labour, and because he had a similarity. But because he didn't do that time, the politics interests were together. He went to Conservative and he became government. So listen, let me tell you something. We are in a political season. These are opposition right now. CDC and ANC, they are opposition. They have a right to coordinate and work together and share ideas.
You're closing right there. I will just
tell you now. So they have a right to coordinate and keep the Unity Party all the powers, because the Unity Power have caused a lot of problems for the Liberian people. So I am very, very happy to see the ANC and CPP, ANC and CDC leaders having a dialogue today. I'm very, very happy. I think I will sleep well tonight.
Okay. But Taki, I mean, can you give a closing?
Yes, sir.
on the topics. I mean,
I know closing.
3 minutes.
I never close yet.
Yeah, but I think after we're playing on the show, I mean, you got your chance. Thank you. Okay. Don't worry. Don't be desperate to talk. Desperate about power.
I'm not desperate. I just want to make it more dry.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. My sort of closing would be on particularly what is going on in our war today, especially when it comes to our supply chain. Remember, in 1942, there was a clock. There was a group of scientists came together to form the Doomsday Clock, and that clock is ticking. The clock draw more closer to midnight whenever a big event happens. And this particular event that happens this gone Sunday has triggered the clock to go further. To all our people in Liberia, I know when such thing happens, people will be panicked because it will shake our supply chain. Liberia does not produce food. We do not produce anything. So most of our food are coming from the Asia country, America, and these countries are the one that their hands are into all of these conflicts. So I will urge our country to at least return back to the soil, like Doe used to say, let us get back to the soil. Let us produce more food for our people. Let us be, agriculture is our friend at this particular moment. Asymmetrical warfare, the fourth gen of asymmetrical warfare is here to stay. That is the opposing force. That is the opposing force that have more military power and more military capability is being threatened by the weakened country to not confront them on conventional force. And this is what is happening today. My fellow people, my fellow Liberians, at least this war it will affect all of us. You shouldn't be in Africa, you shouldn't be in Liberia saying that it is only here, Europe, that will suffer. It will hit every one of us, especially when it comes to nuclear fallout, when it comes to radiations, when it comes to darkening up the sun, when it comes to all of these little things that have impact in our global today. It will affect all of us. Like I said, let your voice heard. If you go to the United Nations as a Security Council, please do not keep your mouth shut.
About Taki guy that you go away a ton now, bro. I mean,
yes, sir. I'm just trying to say the person that go into the Security Council, if any Liberian may let he speak out, that will be my end. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. But daughter, you already get your closing, so we'll go to Paul.
So I shouldn't
No
say
trouble. If you get your closing, I'll leave for the be the last.
I shouldn't even pray for the top show tonight.
Is there?
I said, sure, I should not even pray for the top show.
No, you're
the host.
Huh?
You pray at the end.
Well,
all right, no problem. I will pray at the end.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jamal, can you put it up again? Let me close on it. Jamal, can you put that image up? Let me close on it. I'm not going to talk about the international scene. I'll close on Liberia. Liberia, today, people home, some people going to bed without food because of bad leadership we have in Liberia. The corruption, the stealing in Liberia is beyond comprehension to me. What is happening to a government that claims to have 50 years of experience and people going to bed hungry, that is unacceptable. The guy who we call George Weah, we classify him the incompetent president 2 years ago. And this guy have shown us that he done better than the Unity Party that is sitting down today in government. And everything that we are there is being photocopied by somebody with 50 years experience. So what does the picture say? If George Weah aligns himself with a competent leader, Liberia will be heading on a good place. And for me, I will support this TK if it happens. That means they can have agreement like where Golden Brown and Tony Blair did in the UK. They had an agreement, one rule for a little while and the other one took over. If they have that, I think it will be a good thing. Because people in Liberia vote people that are very incompetent based on what the popular or they were the traditional people. Like what happened in Nima County. The guy who was representative for a county for 13 years, because He did absolutely nothing based on tribalism. They gave him senatorial post. So our people does not understand what we call democracy. So if he found means of getting the power to somebody who is least competent, I think Mr. Cummings should go for it. That is my closing argument on this.
Okay, I mean, that's beautiful. For Mr. Cummings to rely on George Weah popularity, that's beautiful. Okay,
Absolutely. It happened in Burkina Faso.
Jamel, you want to close? Close on it.
Thank you very much. What I think is overdue that we have a strong political force in the position. Whether it's Unity Party or any government in charge, you're able to put their feet to fire to make sure the correct things are done. Whether it's, I don't care who is in charge. And also, all Liberians has the right to meet one another and discuss the future of the country in a good way. So my ending point here will be, let's have a strong and reasonable political oppositions in the country for the government in charge, so they can know that they should be doing the right thing. They should always put into text. I said it on this platform, there's no opposition in the country. If Stan is coming out today to oppose the living condition of people is at some extreme level, that means that there's no existing political party. We need a strong opposition in the country to make the government, to put the government on check. Our country needs to be the government in check. They are accountable to people. Let's have a strong opposition in the country. Whether Cummings come together with it's up to the Liberian people to decide who they want. And we want the government of our people that will make Liberia to deserve better. Thank you, guys. Have a pleasant weekend.
Thank you, bro. Strong words out there, you know. Yeah, Mr. Linfa Egongwe. Can you give your parting statement?
Thank you very much for making me last. Save the best for last.
Exactly.
Listen, first of all, I want to flush something out of the minds of the Liberian people. This nonsense, we always say you can't compare American politics or other country politics with Liberia. We practice democracy. America practices democracy. So why I say that we can make it a scene? So if you and myself supposed to we go to be there Harry, we sort of wear the same uniform. You say, oh, you can't compare Paul with a uniform with uniform. What sense does it make? We're wearing the same uniform. So I want to flush it out of your. If I have something I want to flush it, I flush it out of your brain. Then the next thing they talk about is, oh, you can't condemn the person, then you go join the person and this is the wider Liberian mentality. But let me tell you, I'm in the Labour Party in Norway here. We are the second largest party to the ruling party. So I sit on 2 different committees as we speak. And when they make anything like the budget or any policy they make, they bring it to us. We didn't win, we came second. They bring it to us. We discuss it. We give our input before they go. In that enemy to say, okay, because they put other people won and we didn't win this year, last year, so we are enemy. No. And people were condemning George Weah, the same thing they do Joe Barker now, because George Weah was the president and there were certain things expected of him to do and he was not doing them. So when the people talk, the opposition at that time talk, they are putting him on a guard. Oh, he's supposed to do this, but he didn't do this. Simple. It didn't mean that George Weah will not him or me or the other people or enemy when they see him, they will call it true. No. And so I don't know what people get a kind of mentality from. You tell the ruling party, do this, we're not doing this, we are doing the wrong thing. Simple as that. It's just like your son's supposed to go to school and can't do a homework at home. So if he doesn't do it and you're fasting or maybe you grab him and whip him, so does that mean he's not your son anymore? You can't talk to him anymore? This is where we get problems. Even we the voters, we the ordinary citizens will get problems. And when they lead us, people treat us that way, then we say, and I like this saying, oh, we don't know coming. We don't know all the other people that we know Boaka will know. The way you know Boaka for 42 years in government, Boaka also knows you. You know what you need. So Liberian people, you create your own problems. When the problems come back to bite you, then you start crying. Okay, so you're flush acting out of your mind, and then they also comparing where is coming now? Costa. Costa didn't allow with Waka, and then they denigrated Cummings during the CPB time. What happened at the end of the day? What happened to Costa? Costa left Waka. He went to Georgia.
When he was electing.
They were denigrating both communists and Weah. He went back to Weah. Weah accepted him. Okay, now he's part of Waka. Okay, this is a man who can sit there and praise the government now. And how the Joe Waka that he swear on his own program that he would never support that kind of man. Now he went back to him to support him. So I don't understand. Politics is like patriotic interest. And at the time when the interests of the people are not met, you have the right to condemn the government that is in power at that time. It doesn't mean that that president is your enemy. You know, Georgia is ordinary citizen, as the UP people say, the common citizen now. Georgia, like you say, you can go in a club, you can do anything. Nobody baron you. Nobody come on now.
Your time is over. So
I don't want to flush this thing out of our minds. We are our own problem. We don't follow.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know.
So Padori, give you 30 seconds and we'll call it a day.
If Cummins and Joshua will form a ticket, I will tell you that ticket. You will just start packing your load to go because it will be 100%. Coming with 1%, and we are with how much 43%? That 44% right there.
You need 51%.
Yeah, but they'll get it for the full point because other parties will be in a run. I mean, in the election too. They will take a rest.
Okay. Let me come in. You know, I've
you closing so that
I'm giving a closing statement. You know, I believe in history. You see, my brother Paul said something here that I take very serious. When the two gentlemen have coordinating to become formidable parties to remove Unity Party, we should have a solid agreement. So one person go for a certain time and another person come and take over. It happened in my country here, UK. I've been in the country for over 20 years. Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, did the same thing. For one time come for Gordon Brown to take over, we have to force Tony Blair him behind him to take the charge, to take the leadership. So, no, let's be realistic. Politics is very dangerous something. So I would tell the two parties, whatever they making arrangement for whoever to go first and other one to go second, there's more be something we call hammer in the hand of people. When you go there,
I can promise you that Mr. Comey is not going to make any mistake seeing what happened from the CPP. So no kind of you go for, I go for second. No.
No. I don't want to go to that level. I just say let them have the hammer. I don't say ANC should have the hammer or CDC should have the hammer. I say they must have a hammer because we saw it here. This is the advanced political country, England. Can you imagine that? So, keep to the wise cost of reason. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming tonight. And I hope to be here at all time. Let's pray for one another to see a long life, to have a long life, to see many things ahead. Let's pray for Liberia. Liberia is the only country where we cannot be deported from. And so it's a country where we can go and boast with. And there's a place where many of labor stone were buried. So
yes, second country will do bad in Liberia. They can send you back to UK.
Yeah, I do agree. But what I'm trying to say here is, let's pray for Liberia as well.
Do the opposite. You do bad in UK, will send to Liberia, not Liberia.
If you do bad in UK, they can revoke your citizenship and send you back to your country of origin. So let's pray for the country.
Okay, guys. So it was nice having a good show tonight.
Hope good men come and take over.
We hope that
good entrepreneur, good business managerial skill.
We hope that the government of Liberia will succeed and the people of Liberia will have the best in life. So we thank you all. I want to thank you all for tonight's show, Paul. Thank you for the international coverage. And then we hope that the GMB and GKK leadership will do better things for Liberia. So on that note, guys, have a good night and we'll take care. Cheers. JKK, GMB, all the way.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
AMC, PDC, whatever. I
Bye-bye,
hope
gentlemen.
you guys then will do better. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
You are welcome to the